Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here, back with another Photoshop video tutorial, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create this gold and silver looking 3D text in Photoshop. So let's get started. So before we start, this is going to be a beginner's tutorial, so it's gonna be a little bit of slow, and also if you have to follow this tutorial, you need at least Photoshop CS6 extended, and also to use this option you need a decent type of system, like not very hi-fi but at least a decent system to run this without any kind of errors. So finally, let's get started. Let's start by creating a new document, and the width is 1400 and the height is 800. The resolution is 150. Everything else is default. Just make sure one thing, that the higher the number, more load your system's gonna take. So keep that in mind while working. Now type in whatever text you want. Don't worry about font style, color or size, anything, because everything is editable in Photoshop 3D once you convert it into 3D. So just type in anything decent that you wanna convert, and I'm gonna type the most cliche thing possible. And if you want to use the same font I am using, it's Transformers font, and the download link is in the description. And then I'm gonna fill in a dark gray color in the background. Doesn't matter the particular color, just use anything you want. If you use the image, it's gonna work the same way. It's gonna take image as background. So once you are done with that, right click on your text layer and select new 3D extrusion from the selected layer. And if you don't wanna go that way, you can always go to 3D and then select new 3D extrusion from the layer, and it will ask you for the 3D interface. So hit OK. So it will change it a little bit of things in Photoshop. Don't worry about that. And the other important thing is, whenever you are in 3D space, make sure that you have selected your marquee tool, this first one, the move tool, because if that's not selected, you won't be able to see any of these options, and it might make you a bit of confused or anything. So always make sure that you have selected that tool so that you can use all these options. Now I'm going to show you what each and every tool does. Now before you use any tool, can you see that a dark little box in like left corner? Yes, use every tool from there. I mean, you can use it anywhere you want, but there is a chance that you might accidentally select your text and it gonna make you a bit like crazy. So make sure that you use it from there for starting couple of days. So first tool, as you can see here, it rotates each and everything everywhere, so it's a free rotation tool. Second one, it rotates everything but on a fixed angle. The third tool, now this tool will make your text like scene go up, down, left and right. The fourth tool, it will make your text like scene go up, down, forwards and backwards. And the last one is for zooming in and zooming out. So pretty simple tools, anyone can understand, nothing to worry about that. Now since we have messed up the whole scene, just right click on that little box and select default, so it will make everything else back to normal. So if you mess up, don't worry about that, there's always a way. Now let's rotate the angle a bit and select the text. So as you can see, whenever you select a text, there pops up three different arrows, a green one, a pink one and a blue one. Now they are pretty simple. The first option, like little arrow, small, you can see on the top, yeah, that helps you to make your text go up and down. The second, like a little half circle, like a curved shape in between, as you can see, that helps to rotate your text. And every option is same for whole three arrows. So, and then the last one, it will make your text go squish or make it like broad. It's really simple. So three arrow does the same thing, and when you will start working on 3D for the first time, it will not be as easy as I'm doing right now. It's actually gonna blow your mind and might wanna make you break your computers, but keep patience and keep working. Slowly you will understand that what tool works which way. So it's gonna be a bit easy, but after a couple of practice hours, nothing else. Now let's move on to some more options, and the first one, on the right side you can see the edit source. So when you click on that, it will open a whole new document of your text, and as you can see here, you can edit your text here any way you want. So let's remove this shop and keep only the photo, and then the most important thing you have to do is go to file and save it, otherwise it won't work. So when you save it and you go back to your document, the text has been edited. So that's a cool way. You can change it anytime, any way you want, so you don't have to worry about it. Now let's change the color of the text, and as you can see that little black box, if you click there it will open the color box and you can change the color. So I'm gonna make it a dark gray, and if you want the code is 3D 3D 3D. Pretty cool, huh? So after that hit OK, and now I'm gonna show you some options for bevel. So if you click on that box, as you can see here, there is many options: extrude, bevel frame, and different kind of stuffs. So click and select whichever you think looks better to you. So click on that and you are good to go. After that, there's extrusion depth. As you can see here, if I increase that, it makes the text go longer, and if I decrease it, it makes the text go smaller. So pretty obvious stuff to understand, nothing too much complicated here. Now I'm gonna change the angle a bit, and as you can see here, there are two more options: cast shadows and the catch shadow. If I turn it on and off, as you can see, the cast shadow is the one you can see on the ground, which is connected to your text, which you can see on the further way. And the catch shadow is, let me zoom in so you can see properly, is the shadow that is on your text, not on the ground, but includes the part of your text. A bit complicated, but not that much. So if you turn it on and off, you will get it what it does, and it's pretty simple. Now create on the second icon, it will open new more options, and there you can see we have bit of extrusion related stuff. So it is the same thing, but here you can twist and taper and bend your whole extrusion. So it can be pretty cool if you are being experimental or you want to create something unique and different. So it can be really useful, but whenever you are using it, make sure that you do it really peacefully and slowly, because it can crash your system. So you don't want that, okay? And keep saving your file. So as you can see here, some bending and all that you can do here, no big deal. You have on-screen options just like those arrow I showed you a few moments ago, but it just makes it a bit difficult to use, so I prefer using it from here. And then let's click on the third icon, and it shows us even more option. So here you can edit the way your bevel looks and how complicated you want to make your bevel. So you can make it bigger, smaller, thicker, thinner. It's pretty simple stuff. You just have to change the sliders. And there is also a really cool option called counter, and I'm gonna use this option as you can see on the screen, and I think we are good to go. Now I'm gonna go back to first option and change the extrusion depth to 50 because I think it's too damn thick. So I'm gonna make it a bit thinner, and now let's go back to fourth and the final option. As you can see here are all the numbers. Now these are the same thing that you did with those arrows to make text go left, right, squish or rotate a bit, but here you can make it like really perfect. If you want a certain amount of rotation or anything, you can do it from here. So I'm gonna rotate this text 90% on the x-axis, so it's just gonna make it slip on the ground. Now I'm gonna show you how to change the color of material, the text you're working with. So as you can see here, there are 5 different layers, so each and every is individual, and you can change and make each and every layer with different color. So first of all, I'm gonna select the second one, and I'm gonna make it a bit yellowish. Then I'm gonna hold my control key and select other 4 except that one, and then I'm gonna go to my shine and I'm gonna increase it a bit. Then I'm gonna go to reflection, and then I'm gonna increase it a bit. There are also other many options, but since it's a beginner's tutorial, I thought it would be good to not to discuss all of them and just the basic one to get you started. And now since we are done with modeling and texturing stuff, let's move on to final stage, which is lighting, and the most important one. So by default you have one infinite light, and if you get confused in all this mess, there is a little switch for the lights. So if you click that, you can see only the lights in the environment. So click on that, and once you select your infinite light, you can see the other options like color and intensity and all. So once you click that, you have this half spherical shape, and by selecting that, you can change the direction of your light. It requires a bit of practice to understand how this thing works, but once you are done with that, let's rotate it this way so it's looking nice. And after that, I'm gonna make the shadows a bit softer, since the really strong shadows are not gonna look that good. So softer the shadow looks better. And then I'm gonna go to 3D, and there is an option called render. So this will show how your text looks. So right now it looks stupid, I know, but don't worry about that. Let's add in one more line. So when you click on that little square option, so I'm gonna select a new point light, and then I'm gonna put it on top of our text. Now this is gonna be really hectic and pain in the, I'm telling you, this is not gonna be easy working with this light. Also, the options are really difficult to understand. You can only and only understand how this thing works with experience. So do it 10, 15, 20 times, how many times you want, and then you will realize how powerful and awesome this light can be. So I'm just gonna adjust it on top of my text. Now I'm gonna go to my 3D option and render it again. So as you can see here, it looks good but not that great. So we have to make a few more changes. So I'm gonna go and increase the intensity of the infinite light, the round one you can see, and then I'm gonna also make the shadows even a bit more softer. Then let's go to the environment options, and as you can see here, there are other cool things going on here. So first of all, I'm gonna go to my shadows, and instead of black, I'm gonna make them a little darker gray. And then I'm gonna go to my reflection, and instead of solid white, I'm gonna make it a bit grayish so they can match with the whole mood of my text. And then you can see the opacity of reflection is 0, so I'm gonna make it around 80. And let's go and render and see how it looks. Now as you can see here, it looks a bit weird and really not realistic because the reflection is too solid. It's like the duplicate of the text right underneath it. So what you can do is, you can go to your environment option, and then you can increase the roughness. So the more the roughness, the softer the reflection is going to be. So let's increase the roughness and go back and render again. So now as you can see here, it looks much more realistic and really nice because of that reflection, the cast shadow and the lighting and all going on here. So as you can see, the final output is ready and it looks really good, but not as good as the original one because the original one took hours, and the same thing will happen to you. You always have to go back and keep changing and tweaking the stuff until it gets better. So I hope you learned something from this tutorial. If yes, then please give it a thumbs up, and you can comment. If you got any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I always reply. So thanks for that, and you can also subscribe to my channel for upcoming advanced tutorials, and I also have some pretty cool tutorials about photo editing and stuff too, so check that out. That would be really great. So finally, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.